the summer and November kind of series was 3 individual test matches playing against very different teams obviously every time, and now to have a competition, it's brilliant, so that you can link the 3 in the summer to the 4 in November, with obviously a trophy to play for at the end of it. And even though there's going to be a long gap between the two, it's good to have that intense period at the end of the season, and then have that again in November. So it's not almost the end of the season tour now, it's becoming the sort of, it is at the same time as the end of the season, but it's still the start of a new competition, which is great. Back when it was COVID and the European Cup did the summer kind of thing, because the season finished for so long, then started again later on. And start of the season, you got into big games straight away, which was really good. I felt for the whole season. Instead of kind of having that period where you've got 6-7 months till the big games kind of start, and you get to the business end. Obviously, it's kind of bringing that business end halfway through the season for that period, which is going to be really exciting, I think. So, as much as at club you'll be feeling your way into the season at that point, then you'll have these big games for international that will be a lot of hype, a lot of expectations from the players from the nations, which will be brilliant that early on in the season. I think just having the level of competition every summer, every November, will be great. That's not saying it's not been there before, but I think you're going to have to play your best rugby every week in the summer and then in November, to try and win this tournament. You know, it's gone from being 3 friendlies in summer and then 3 friendly or 4 friendlies in November to a competition. So having to play your best rugby the whole year, you having to play your best rugby at the whole time. So I think it's great for all the nations will develop, I think, through that. I think for rugby and as a whole, it'll be really good. I've never been to Argentina. I think we've got them first up in the competition away. So I'm ideally selected, looking forward to going over there. I've never been to Argentina, so that'd be really cool. I've played South Africa with the Lions and over there, but never done it with crowds. So I'd love to do that. That'd be good fun. And then we've got Fiji at home, which would be brilliant. Obviously coming back home in the summer, which would be the first kind of game apart from a World Cup warm up that you have a summer test at home. Even though it's very different times of the year that you're playing in the summer and then in November, the summer games are as important as the ones in November. And even though you're going to have a long period in between, that build up week after week, when in the summer tests are then building towards that outcome in the November. So I think as soon as for us in the Northern Hemisphere, having 3 home games in November, the excitement will be there from the start, and it's not building into it because half of the tournament's kind of done already. So I think especially for the Scottish or the home fans up in the Northern Hemisphere, having those Southern Hemisphere teams arrive and be halfway through a tournament will be really exciting, I think. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the build-up's like and how the atmosphere is at games. In club, you have European games, so having cross-border, effectively cross-league games, which is the same, it's cross-hemisphere now, having that more regularly and having a competition in the fact of the Nations Cup, it's brilliant. So I just think in November having 4 games, it'll be great having those 4 games cross hemisphere, and both Northern and Southern Hemisphere will be different stages of their seasons when it comes to those games in November and July. So that'll be really interesting to see how it goes, and I think again as fans, the atmosphere around it all will be brilliant. Yeah, I can't wait for it. I think it's still a long way away just now, obviously, but I think it'll be really fun when it gets to it. I think for rugby as a whole, I think it's definitely something that's probably needed, and a very new competition, a new way of doing a finals weekend. It's not just one game, like you say, it's 3 days of 2 games a day, like a festival effectively, and I think that would be great. I think it's something so different, something rugby's probably never seen before. Again, potentially a little bit similar to what Sevens sort of do, but in a completely different sort of size, I would imagine. So I think having it in the UK and London would be brilliant, and I think it would be a great weekend. Because obviously London's got so many people from everywhere across the world that every team that comes and plays there will have their own network, their own sort of fan base that are there. I think it'll be really exciting to see how the events run, and if there's going to be different fan zones there. I don't know how it's going to be an Argentinian one, a Scottish one, an Irish one, an English one. I don't know how it's going to work, but I think there's a lot of stuff like that could be amazing to happen, and having just under 250,000 fans coming to 3 days, but 6 games is brilliant, and I think there'll definitely be a big buzz in London. No, I think it's just going to be, especially the first year, it's going to be an amazing occasion. I think trialling it out, I think, will be great, but I think the excitement that's going to go around it, as I kind of mentioned earlier, with the tournament starting back after the summer series, the atmosphere that's going to be at the stadiums, especially at the finals weekend, will be amazing. I'd imagine there'll be some acts that go on. There'll be obviously the rugby, which is the main event, but I think there'll be a lot of stuff to do there. So I would say definitely get along if you're a rugby fan or not. I think it'll be a great weekend. Playing there with Bath, it was amazing because the stadium's like behind you, because a lot of Bath fans came across, and but then it's also kind of mutual because a lot of people fans will buy it ahead of knowing which team's in it. And I think playing there with Scotland against England, it's majority of England fans that are there against you. So playing on a proper neutral ground at that size and at that sort of level of event, it was amazing. I think it's a really fun atmosphere to be at. I wouldn't say there's hostility at all. It's more just an event that everyone wants to go at, wants to have fun and enjoy themselves. And us as players, if you can do the job on the pitch, then I think that adds to the atmosphere for sure. So whenever I've played there, it's been great with Scotland, but I think playing with Bath at Allianz, it's been amazing, and probably in a very different way than playing with Scotland. So I think with teams coming from all over the world to compete that weekend, it will be a great atmosphere.